Please cut your phones off. Okay, we're back. So we're going to continue what we left off. We had to do some house, cleaning and so on. I want to direct you to the YouTube channel. It's up under my name, and we're going to be putting it up under the eBach Alliance. But if you go to Albert Burks, B-U-R-K-S, Jr., live, you should be able to see this streaming and give it to your friends on YouTube. That's Albert Burks, B-U-R-K-S, Jr., J-R, live. Albert Burks, Jr., live. Okay? All right, let's get started. Now, we was just talking about for-profit and the non-for-profit and the difference between them. Now, they understand one is mission-driven and the other is profit-driven. Okay? So, the success of these two entities is completely different and are measured as such. For-profit is seen as profitable and a success when it increases its bottom line. Okay? That is, if you have a for-profit organization, okay, the sole purpose is to make a profit. But a non-for-profit or not-for-profit success when it attains the mission to the general public. And I must say one thing. Even if you had a not-for-profit, non-for-profit, and you have achieved your mission, but you have no money, you have reached your objective. So don't feel that, okay, I got no money, we didn't do anything. No, yes, you have. Because it's the mission that you are trying to attain. The challenge of a not-for-profit, because they do not raise any money from selling a product or a service, many are supported by grants from public and private foundations, individual contribution and or membership fees. And we're going to talk about this is basically alluding to a 501c3, but you're going to see a little different when we talk about the 501c4. Okay? They depend on volunteers with marketing skills, fundraisers, and sales experience. Many times a not-for-profit organization have volunteers to work for them because they believe in the mission. I don't think anybody's going to volunteer for a not-for-profit without increasing their bottom line, but a not-for-profit, people actually, because they believe in what the mission is, will help you. All you have to do is ask. In short, non-for-profit fundraising is for everyone. It requires lots of energy, effort, enthusiasm, and creativity. Let me rephrase that. In short, non-for-profit fundraising is not for everyone. It's not for everyone because of the situations that they're in, maybe financially. But some people, for the cause, they would definitely dedicate some time. So just be respectful of those people's time. A not-for-profit organization or a not-for-profit or a non-for-profit is an organization that uses surplus revenues to achieve its goal rather than distributing them as profit or dividends. In other words, what they are doing, they are looking for people to donate money for them. They are going after grants. They have special fundraisers, projects. It's groups or individuals that are working together by visions and passion to achieve an objective, mission, goal, etc. So when you're looking at a non-for-profit, you have to get like-minded people. You just can't go out there and say, okay, you might have this. See, everybody's not going to feel like you do. They're not just going to feel. But if you got a non-for-profit and it's doing a lot, people want to jump aboard. But they have to have the passion that you have in order for you to make it a success. Just because a non-for-profit are mission-driven doesn't mean they can ignore financial obligations. And people have a misconception of a non-for-profit. They think that you cannot get rich with a non-for-profit. Yes, you can, because a non-for-profit has obligations. You think that these major companies that is out here are not paying a good salaries to these CEOs and president? They are. But it shouldn't be your objective is to go out and try to get all the money from the not-for-profit. You have to determine what the mission is, but your expertise, people pay for your expertise. Not-for-profit organization must retain its revenue for self-preservation, expansion, or plans. Ms. Hall, you remember when you asked me, yeah, pay attention. See, you thought I was gonna, yeah, I tell you, I'm something else when I come up here. I act teachers, send you to the principal. But anyway, so don't go to sleep on me now. But anyway, you asked me a question. You said, can officers and directors be paid? And they can. Because you got to realize you have to utilize the money for self-preservation. You got obligations. People got to eat too. So you can pay your officers and so on. Now, I would say this. Do research. If you got a board of directors person, you don't have to pay this person to be on your board of directors. Check with your statutes. The Illinois Corporation Act or whatever corporation. But if you got an officer and you hired that person as the president, the vice president, you can pay them from the money that you attain from your grants and your fundraisers and so on. Designation as a non-for-profit does not mean that the organization does not intend to make a profit. Misconception, right? People use the word, they said non-profit, non-for-profit, not-for-profit. That's the misconception. The objective, if you is to go out and try to attain some type of finance so you can meet your obligations and your expenditures. You think that these companies are at the end of the year, they get a $12 million grant and they're spending it all in 1 year? They're not doing it. The objective is to continue to be able to, pursue, their mission. It has no owners, and the funds in the operation organization will not be used to benefit any owners. You cannot, in your bylaws, there will be an article, and Ms. Hall, I think you saw that in your bylaws when I gave her bylaws on dissolution. When you dissolve a non-for-profit or not-for-profit organization, you cannot just say, I'm the president, I started, I'm going to take the new car, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the vans, I'm going to take all the money, I'm going home. No, you can't. You must donate that money to a like cause, another organization maybe similar to yours, another not-for-profit with a mission. And if you cannot decide that, the state laws will. And if they cannot decide it, they put it into the general funds of the state. Okay? It's not for you because you decided to close your not-for-profit. You decided to go out and spend the money and thinking that no one knows what you are doing. Oh, they know, because we're going to be talking about the Attorney General's office in a few. Okay? tax exemption. Non-profit organization in many countries may apply for tax exempt status, and in the United States, to be exempt from federal income taxes, the organization must meet the requirements set forth by who? Internal Revenue Service. You need to read those statutes. When you see that 501, what they're telling you, that's the Internal Revenue codes. Go to the 501 section. Paragraph C. Or section C, paragraph 2 or 3. And this is where you will find that information. The form used to apply for tax exempt status falls under section 501 C3 of the Internal Revenue Code, known as Packet 1023. If you're going to file for your tax exempt, your determination letters, the first thing you want to do is what? You want to file to get your structure, which is your corporation with who? Jesse White, Secretary of State, Arkansas, New York, Secretary of State, whoever, whatever state. But when you get ready to file for that non-for-profit number, you have to go to the Internal Revenue Service. And you ask them to send you, it's a book. It's Form 1023. And inside of that book, they're going to have every application. I'm going to show you how many non-for-profits, over 15 different 501c2, 6, 10, 16, all of this. It's a lot of them. But they're in the book. The packet is a 1023, and it's called a determination for your tax exempt. So call the Internal Revenue Service and order that book. It looks like this. Application for recognition of exemption under section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. And it's going to contain Form 1023, the checklist, instruction for filing Form 1023, and Form 5768. This is very important. You must have an employer identification number, an EIN or FEIN number, before filing this application. So when you file for your corporation, your non-for-profit corporation, go to the Internal Revenue Service, or you can use Form SS4. SS4, that is to apply for your EIN number, FEIN number. What is the purpose of that number? It is the Social Security number for the company. Just like you got a Social Security number. But it's going to associate with your number, your Social Security number, because you are the person that filed it. Activity prohibited or restricted by a non-for-profit organization. This is very important, churches. Absolutely refrain from political campaign of candidates for local, state, or federal office. How many churches is out there got a 501c3 and the politician comes and goes into the pulpit? You are in violation. Well, they are the politicians, so who's going to enforce it? They come to your place. They're not supposed to do that. But we're going to talk about the 501 that allows it to happen. Absolutely ensure assets and earnings do not unjustly enrich board members, officer, key management employees, or other insider. When that money come in, it's not to make everybody on your board rich. Everybody in there clapping. Everybody happy. Everybody want a pay raise. Not operating for the primary purpose of conducting a trade or business that is not related to its exempt purpose. When you utilize money in your not-for-profit, it has to be relatable to your purpose. Now, I want to go back up to political campaign real quickly. And it's such a pet peeve with me. Okay? It was always told to me, you separate state from religion. When you file for your 501c3, you just open your books for the government to come in and check everything that you're doing. And the politicians are falling behind that money. And they control you. Because when you start getting money from the public, don't the state's attorney and all of them start looking at you strange? So you have to be very careful. Talk to your CPA and find out what it is that you need to do. Now, I'm just a regular Joe Blow, but I will put money on the preacher's books. It must further one or more of these exempt purpose. These are the criteria. Some people say what? I'm going to apply for a grant. I want to start a non-for-profit. I want to get a grant. You must follow and fall up under one of these purposes. If you see yours up there, athletic, scientific, civil, patriotic, benevolence, if you see it up here, when you apply for a non-for-profit, then you have met the requirements. You can now apply for the grants. I hear people say, I want to own a business. And I ask them what type of business. And they say, well, I want to own a restaurant. I want to get a grant. You can't get a grant. It's for-profit, and it does not fall up under this. So make sure that whatever your mission is, it falls up under one of these, to be charitable. Now, a 501c3, it could be for any cultural, any class of people, private sorority, fraternities. You can apply for a 501c3 and you can be Pacific. You know? And so it's allowable. But when we talk about the 501c4, you're going to find out it's not allowable. Organization organized and operate exclusive for religious and charity, scientific, testing for public safety. All of these educational, international sports, prevention of cruelty to children or animals, you can apply for a 501c3. Now, when I named those things, I was specific, right? I was telling you certain things that you can apply for. When you got a 501c3, you can be specific what you want, and you can do it, as long as it meets those other purposes. After you submit Form 1023 for your determination tax exempt, the Internal Revenue Service will send you a notice within 21 days of the postmark date stating no additional information needed, or they may need additional information. If the additional information indicates that you qualify, the IRS will send you a letter stating you are exempt and whether you are a public charity or private foundation. Now, you went to Jesse White, you filed for your corporation. You went to the Internal Revenue Service, you met the criteria for the purposes, you send in your 1023, you got your EIN number, they send you a tax exempt letter. Doesn't stop there. These are other things. You see, there's about 15 of them, of different 501s, 5, labor, agriculture, 501c6, business league, chambers of commerce, social club, 501c7. 501c9, Voluntary Employees Beneficial Association. You got cemeteries, 501c13, trusts, 50c117, posts, organization, auxiliary unit, all of these, title holders and corporation. Once you know this, and if it fit your needs, this is what you're going to apply for. So a lot of people say, I want a 501c3, but I'm going to have a title company. No, yours is a 501c25. And it's in the book, the 1023 book, that application. So you have to do your research. I love this. This 501c4, I advise each person wishing to file for a 501c4 after we discuss it, organization, to research their state laws regarding corporate and tax compliance and file any required application for tax exempt status under their state laws. The Internal Revenue Section 506 requires that an organization notify them of their intent to operate as a 501c4 organization. What is a 501c4? You remember I said a 501c3, you can ask for charitable donation. And that person can donate money and they can get tax breaks. A 501c4, there is no tax break. But it's a non-for-profit organization, but it's for one purpose: social welfare. You cannot say it's for the Girl Scout. It's for the fraternity. It's for a certain race of people, a certain cause. It's got to be for the best interest of all society. Here's the difference. We said in the 501c3, you have to refrain from campaigning, right? A 501c4 gives you the power to lobby, to get involved with politics. And the money that you get from the person that's giving you that money, from whatever foundation, it's not taxed right off for them, but you can use it to lobby. How many people knew about the 501c4? From me. I am Mr. RIS. But you must inform them. Look at it. If it's going to specify a certain, I want to get me a 501c4 because I want to feed the homeless. No, you cannot do it because you're being specific for one group. But I want to feed society. 501c4. And Mr. Politician, I want to talk to you. How many 501c1, 4, 5, all whatever, that people really don't know how much power they have? If you are a for-profit company, can you go to a company and says, excuse me, you had 25 people file a discriminatory suit against you. I would like to talk to you. For profit, they tell you get out. File a 501c3 or 501c4 for the best interest of what? Of the society or for your group. And under the Freedom of Information Act, you can get things. Does it work? It does. Because they know that you are not for personal gain. You're on a mission. So understand what your 501c3 or 501c4 can do for you. It gives you a lot of power to be able to ask for things and do things. The 501c4 are allowed to intervene in political campaign as long as their primary activity is still the promotion of the general welfare of society. You understand what I just said? When we get out there and we say, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, everybody lives matter, you're dealing with politics, right? Get your 501c4 now, you can talk smack. But if you got a 501c3, they're going to say, wait a minute. You out here begging for publics, and we control that. We're going to pull that fund away from you. You understand what's going on? No, if you're going to have a cause, know which one of these 501 sections applies to you. If your goal is to influence public policy, a 501c4 can be appealing choice in addition to unlimited lobbying. The 501c4 is permitted to engage in a limited amount of political activity so as long as it is not the primary purpose of the organization. You want to be able to go out and talk to your politician. I am from AB non-for-profit. We are 501c4. When I had my 501c4, I saved some jobs. Just give you an example. Many people are union workers, right? The first collective bargain unit is what? The union. And if the union failed to follow the Landry-Griffith Act to file a grievance for you and proper represent you, you can file a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. They must represent you. So I had an organization with a 501c4. The union failed to represent one of their people. I wrote them a letter. I said, it is my understanding, and it is the understanding that you are the collective bargain agreement, first line of defense for an employee. But the employee said you failed to properly represent them and have supplied us with all documentation as it pertaining to the hearing and everything else. We have reviewed it. And we are submitting our findings to the National Labor Relations Board. I got a call from the union. You understand what I'm saying? People think that that's the only way. Your union, that's it, I got to go home. No, you don't. There is organizations out here. If they fail to do their job, then you can go to those organizations. But you have to give them the opportunity to do what they're supposed to do. So when you're looking at 501c3s and 501c4s and things like that, look and find out the purpose, and does it fall up under one of those purposes? And you'd be surprised. You will be able to do a lot more than what you're doing. Okay? A 501c4 are tax-exempt organization, but donations to a 501c4 are mostly not tax deductible. The IRS defines 501c4s in the following manner. Civil leagues or organizations not organized for profit, but operate exclusive for the promotion of what? Social welfare. It is for the social welfare. That gives you a lot of room. It gives you a lot of room to play with. A local association of employees, the members of which is limited to the employees of a designated person, a person in a particular municipality, and the earnings, net earnings of which are devoted exclusively to charitable, education, or recreational purposes. 501c4s are allowed to lobby for specific pieces of legislation, such as the 501c4s are often called action funds. Boy, It's a lot. How many people knew all of this? They no one is teaching this. Ebach is. Join the alliance. Go to the website. Go to the website. We got a lot more to talk about. We got a lot more to talk about because we haven't even got into the Attorney General's, what their place is under your non-for-profit. We'll be back. Brought to you live by Ebach. And I'm telling you this right now. There's so much that you guys are not receiving because when they took vocation and everything out of the school, they stopped teaching you this. And this is the reason we are telling people, y'all need to come and join the alliance. There's a lot more that we're going to be offering you. So I'm going to have to take a break for a minute, okay? And we're going to do some live interviewing of we got a room full of people. I'm telling you, we got a room full of people. And there's a lot more stuff that we have to offer you. So we'll be back.